everybody. Welcome to Frontline Football, where we always make it rain with stories. Well, since that crazy intro is out of the way, welcome to Frontline Football, your one place for all your news, rumors, updates, and highlights from this year's NFL season, and hopefully many more if this show keeps going, which it probably will, and most likely will. So, let's just get right into the news. So, Jack, what are our stories for today? I think that this was a terrible move by the Jets because what Gregg Williams was really trying to do was he was trying to save the tank. He knew what was going on. The media knew what was going on. Just the Jets didn't know. They're still thinking that they can win the Super Bowl. So I just feel like this was a terrible move because Gregg Williams has made that defense look really, really good over the past couple of years. Zach, what are your thoughts?
It's a dumb move by the Jets, but the Jets thought he sent a blitz on a Hail Mary attempt. I thought we were trying to win games. I think they're still thinking. I think the Jets don't have it. I'm sorry, Jack. I don't think the Jets front office has it all up here. So, yeah. Jack, have you already said your take on this? Okay, cool. All right, so now it's time for my story. Carson Wentz has just gotten replaced by Jalen Hurts. Now, Carson Wentz has had horrible games, and Jalen Hurts actually replaced him in the last week's matchup. Week 13, he replaced him, and Carson Wentz hasn't had a great season this year. It's been very inconsistent. He's thrown a horrible ball. I think more picks than touchdowns this year, which those are never good. And yeah, now I'm gonna hand this one off to Josh.
Okay, I feel like this is a good move by the Eagles trying to get their new guy in because Wentz has not been looking good for these past couple years. After that ACL tear, he has not been the same. And now the Eagles just have a bunch of dead cap. Unless they could probably trade Carson somewhere. Unless they could trade Carson somewhere, which is probably not likely. They are stuck with him. And I think that this was a good move putting Hurts in to see what he can do. Jack, your thoughts?
This is bittersweet. I feel like yes, heard this was the right move as of right now. Just see what you got. You invested a high pick, second round, on a QB. But if you're an Eagles fan, this really stinks for the future because Carson Wentz's freaking loaded contract hasn't even started pretty much. So I believe if he's off the team next year, they'll owe him about $57 million of the cap. So that's really bad. So Eagles, bad news. Unless Jalen Hurts is a god and can carry the team without cap room, you guys are in for a dark future.
All right, well, that stinks. Josh, what's going on with A.J. Boye?
A.J. Boye, like Bradley Roby and Will Fuller before him, was caught using performance-enhancing substances. This was via Bleacher Report for the story. So I'm going to hand it off to Jack for his thoughts.
So it's news. And this sucks for the Broncos, but Broncos weren't going to do much, I don't think, either way. But still, that's the number one cornerback, arguably. And he was still a relatively big loss for the Broncos. Though the Broncos, I don't even know what the record is. It is not good. But if you're the Broncos, you got to reevaluate Drew Lock. Just to go into that, since I don't have much to go off of. You got to reevaluate Drew Lock here. And you got to figure out what's going on with your offense. And if Drew Lock is truly your franchise guy. What are your thoughts, Zach?
This is weird. Broncos have fallen from grace. They used to be like this team that in the offseason, people were going to think like they're either going to beat the Chiefs or they're going to be really close to the Chiefs. And now you look at them, Drew Lock's not performing that well. A.J. Boye just got this. This is not going well for them. And I think this is a very bad thing, but hopefully the Broncos will do well next season. It's just not good right now. Josh.
I believe that this is pretty weird because how come all of these players are getting caught with PEDs that they were given by physicians as now illegal substances? And what week is it? Like week 13?
14.
How did the NFL not know about this before? Because it sounds like from a bunch of the players' stories that they got these medications before the season. So, not being rude or anything, but how do you not know what's happening in your league? And how do you not know that people are doing stuff like this? So this is a very big loss for the Broncos. Boye is a really good corner, and they're going to have to really reevaluate who they are as a team and maybe reevaluate some high executives this offseason.
All right, so that does it for that story. Now we are on injury update with an added Dez Bryant story. All right, so who we have on injury? Jadeveon Clowney and Antonio Gibson. But the Dez Bryant news, Dez Bryant has got COVID and he has ended playing football for the season. He's not going to play. With what he said on Twitter. So yeah. Jack, what are your thoughts on this?
Alright, as for Dez, I think he caught like one pass, so I don't think his impact to the Ravens was going to change their fate or anything. But as for Gibson, I think this is a huge blow for a football team that's looking to fight in this super tight race in the NFC East. And he was a very underrated running back, and he was very good as of late. So it really stinks that he's gone. As for Clowney, I mean, did Clowney do anything when he was healthy? I feel like I haven't heard his name that much. So I don't know if Clowney still got it or not. He'll have to prove that. Because I feel like Seattle, we got like 3 stacks. Like, there's not much going on with Clowney. But that's all I got on take for the injury update. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that these are big losses for each team. Clowney hasn't really been doing much, maybe a tackle here, a tackle there. And with Dez Bryant, he wasn't really producing that well with the Ravens, so that wasn't really a big loss. Hopefully recovers, and hopefully all of them recover from their injuries. But yeah, it doesn't really seem like a lot of big losses happened this week.
All right, that's cool. So Jadeveon Clowney's stats for the season is 19 tackles with 5 assist tackles, and he has not gotten a sack this year.
Yeah.
That's not
That's
good.
not good.
But Clowney's getting up there in age, and I think his career is starting to end. He's turning, I think, 29, maybe even 30 now, so his career is kind of over. There's not a real good bounce back, I don't think. So yeah. Antonio Gibson, that's a big loss. Like Jack said, he's in the NFC East battle. So yeah. Okay, so I think that does it for injury update. I'm sorry about Dez Bryant too, but he didn't really do that much. So yeah. Okay, so now to playoff predictions. And Jack, say who you think is going to be in the AFC playoffs this year.
All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to start out with some honorable mentions, the bottom 2 that were there, but they just couldn't get there. First off is the Baltimore Ravens coming in at 9-7. To be honest, not too surprising. AFC's pretty stacked. Next honorable mention is Miami, surprisingly, missed it at a 10-6 record, meaning that the 7th seat goes to the Las Vegas Raiders on a tiebreaker where I have them beating the Dolphins. My 6th seat goes to the Indianapolis Colts at an 11-5 record. My 5th seat goes to the Cleveland Browns at an astonishing 13-3 record. I predict a win out for them, very high on them. As for the 4th seat, we'll go to the Buffalo Bills with a 12-4 record. I think they drop 1 game to Miami at the end of the year because they rest starters. The 3rd seat goes to the Tennessee Titans with a 12-4 record. The 2nd seat goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers with 13-3. I think they drop 2 more games to Buffalo and Cleveland. And last but not least, the best team in the AFC, I believe, will be the Kansas City Chiefs at 14-2.
Wow, that looks like the Ravens from last year for the first seed. Okay, Josh, what are your AFC teams?
Okay, so for mine, I didn't really have any honorable mentions. I'm just going to get to who I think will be what seed. For the 7th seed, I have the Indianapolis Colts. I feel like they're going to drop a couple games here and there and keep the 7th seed and not move up or down. They're just going to stay where they are. With the 6th seed, I have the Cleveland Browns. I feel like they're going to drop a game or two. And with the 5th seed, I have the Miami Dolphins, who have been looking really good, but I don't really think that they're going to beat the Bills for the AFC East crown. And at number 4, I have the Tennessee Titans. They've been looking really good, and I think that they're going to win the AFC South. Number 3, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to lose a couple games and fall from grace a little bit. Number 2, I have the Buffalo Bills because I feel like they're going to, one, beat the Steelers and then win another game. The Steelers are going to drop another game, and the Bills are going to win due to a tiebreaker. And finally, number 1, can anybody say it? The Kansas City Chiefs. Because they're going to be the number 1 team in the AFC, maybe the number 1 team in the NFL.
That's
so,
cool.
Zach,
I'm going to start from the bottom, like you guys. My 7th seed is the Miami Dolphins. I still can see Tua starting to shine at the ending of the season, but it's getting really close to that time, and I hope that Tua can shine soon. The next team I have at the 6th seed is the Tennessee Titans. I don't see the Titans winning this division. I see, well, you'll see in a second who I think is going to win this division. But Titans, they have some pieces, but I don't think they're going to make the conference this year, though. So, yeah. And then at number 5, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know this is a shocking one, but their schedule does not get easy. They have to face the Bills this week. The next week, they're going to face the Bengals, so that's basically like a bye week. And then they have to face the Colts, then the Browns. And I see them losing 3 games there. So that's not helpful. Then at my 4th seed, I have, speaking of the Colts, I have the Indianapolis Colts. I really like this Colts team. I really hope that they make it a good playoff. I hope they make it really fun in playoffs, but yeah, they probably won't. They'll lose in the wild card divisional, so it's all right. And at my number 3 seed, I have the Cleveland Browns. Their schedule gets very easy at the ending, which is very surprising for this Cleveland Browns team. And I hope that they can beat the Steelers in their last matchup. And I really hope that they can actually get this 3rd seed. At number 2, I have the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills have been looking great. And at number 1, it's kind of obvious, the Kansas City Chiefs. Probably one of the best teams in football that I've seen in a long time. So, yeah. Okay, so that does it for AFC. Now we're going to go on to NFC. Jack, what are your NFC teams?
Here we go. Gonna start it out with Minnesota, 8-8. Sorry, you drop a couple games because you got to go to Tampa and then you got to go to New Orleans. Not fun. You're dropping both of those. Enjoy 8-8. Another honorable mention is, oh shoot, well there's only 2 for this one. The New York Giants. My finest apologies. This one hurts, but you guys just had a tougher outing towards the end, and you have a tiebreaker with my NFC East champs that you guys happen to lose. All right, I'm gonna open it up in the playoffs. I have the Arizona Cardinals getting that 9-7. They did it. They won the tiebreaker against the Vikings. Got 1 extra win on them. They are in at 9-7. As for the 6th seed, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They dropped 1 more game to a divisional opponent to be 11-5. As for the 5th seed, it got Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their schedule's pretty easy, and I think they do win out to go 11-5. Now we get into division champs. The NFC East champ is the Washington football team. They just got an easier schedule to close out with the Panthers and the Eagles. They go 8-8. As for the third seat, I have the Los Angeles Rams taking the crown in the NFC West. They have a couple tough games, but I think they will be able to overcome them and win out their schedule as well. As for the second seat, I have the Green Bay Packers and my arguably MVP candidate, Angry Aaron Rodgers, at 12-4. They dropped one game to the Titans due to a personal mismatch that I believe with the running defense and the run game. And on number one seat, unsurprisingly, the New Orleans Saints. They dropped one game to the Chiefs. Everything else is relatively gravy for them up to this point because they have the Falcons, Eagles, Vikings, and Panthers.
That's cool. Josh, what about your NFC teams?
Okay, for this one, I do have an honorable mention. I do have to say the Arizona Cardinals because I feel like with this playoff bracket, they're not going to want a third in their division. They're going to want a second-place team in that spot. So with my number 7 pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, Josh, they would do it by record. You know that, right? They wouldn't do it by a place of a team. They would do it by record.
But I feel like the Vikings are going to get the benefit of the doubt here and win that tiebreaker. So
if the Vikings go 8-8 and the Cardinals go 9-7, then Cardinals are a better team.
Zach, can I finish my take here?
Sure.
You're interrupting me, and that's very rude. So I have number 7, the Minnesota Vikings, because I just feel like they're going to win that tiebreaker here. So, and number 6, I have Seattle. They're going to drop a couple games and have our number 5 seed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, up in there. And then number 4, I have the Giants, obviously, because I just feel like they're gonna make it in. And then number 3, I actually have the Green Bay Packers, because I think they might drop a game in that stretch and have the number 2 team, the Los Angeles Rams, come up and get the 2 seed. And finally, I have the number 1 New Orleans Saints. Who else at number 1?
All right. Well, your list kind of sucks, but all right.
Don't be rude on the show.
I mean, I'm being honest. So honesty is the best policy. So, yeah. Do you really want me to lie about yours? No. All right. I have at number 7 the Arizona Cardinals. The reason why is because they're going to win out their whole schedule. That's the kind of the obvious thing. So, yeah. The next number 6, I have the Buccaneers. I feel like the Buccaneers are going to lose a little bit of their games. The next team I have is the Seattle Seahawks. I see the Seahawks winning a little bit more of their games, so that's a really good thing. At number 4, I have the Washington football team. They're just the football team. They're going to lose in the wild card, so it doesn't really matter. At number 3, I have the Rams. The Rams, they look good, but it's just Jared Goff. That's the reason they're 3. And at number 2, this is going to shock a lot of people, I have the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, they will lose a game with Taysom as their starter. I don't think that they're going to win most of their games. So, yeah. And at number 1, I have the Green Bay Packers. So, they have a really good team. Angry Aaron Rodgers is always a nice person to have as your MVP candidate. And, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, well, that does it for predictions today. Josh, do you have a Coke can, or do you want me to just mention the likes?
Don't forget, if you're not subscribed, you haven't liked, or you haven't turned on that notification bell, just balance it. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to be back here on Friday and Wednesday for our predictions and news. Jack, plug the socials.
All right, here we go. Don't forget to follow the Instagram and Twitter for the latest news on Frontline football and get the polls because this will be coming out on a Friday. No artist interview yet, so she gets another plug. Go follow her Instagram down there if you enjoy the artsy stuff. And we'll see you guys back here next week, same time, same place.
Hope you're all having a good day out there.